I've had phenomenal bosses who have sat down with me and invested in me. T.C. Macklemore was one. Now I have Carly Sanford. But we actively talk about my career, and they actively advance me. We talk about all the nitty-gritty things that you don't think about, and they give me space to grow. They give me space to fail, but they also give me space to like make an impact and think about things, not just in the context of our organization, but how does our organization fit in with what else is happening in Birmingham? And so I think it really comes to companies and managers, supervisors, CEOs. They've got to be invested in not just hiring great talent, but mentorship and cultivation and development of that talent.
Hi, I'm Angela Abdur-Rashid, the host of the Prosper Connector podcast. We're the place where information is shared, connections are made, and great Birmingham stories are told by great Birmingham people. Today, speaking of, we have some amazing Birmingham people. Aubrie Strange is joining us, as well as Leah Davis. I'll let you tell your Birmingham story in just a little bit. But first, food. We must talk about it. Because when you think of Birmingham, you think of food. But I want you to tell me what you think of as a food when you think of Birmingham.
Okay. Birmingham is a hot dog. Stick with me, though.
Okay.
100% beef, of course. And it's an American classic. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be the same without a hot dog. Mm-hmm. But you can dress it up or you can dress it down. Mm-hmm. But the substance is still the same, and it's always delicious every time.
I love it. Tried and true. Mm-hmm. All right, Leah, top that if you can.
Okay. I think Birmingham is chicken and waffles.
Oh.
Particularly from Yo Mama's.
Amen.
Okay.
Because there are variations. You can make it different. But I think everybody, no matter who you are, no matter where you work or where you live, you go to Yo Mama's to eat chicken and waffles.
I love it. Aubrie, I think she did top you, but that's okay.
There we go.
Shout out to Yo Mamas. We love them so much. Small businesses rock. Mm-hmm. So today we're talking about something that is near and dear to me because I no longer fall into that category. But we're talking about young leaders leading. And when I thought of who are the epitome of what community looks like, what leading looks like, what why you here looks like, you two immediately came to mind. So first I want you to sort of introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about your journey to the Magic City, what got you here, and then what's keeping you here. And we'll start with you, Aubrie.
Okay, so I'm originally from a small town in East Tennessee. It's close to Gatlinburg, close to Asheville, close to Knoxville, but it's not any of those places. It's really tiny, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship opportunity that took me out of my tiny hometown and to Samford University here in Birmingham. And I decided that I liked Birmingham enough to stick around, and JW decided that he liked me enough to hire me, and here we are.
Well, we're glad that somebody liked you enough to get you here and to keep you here, especially for the work that you do at Prosper, and we'll dive into that shortly. But Leah, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I've been here for 4 years,
okay.
And I moved here right out of college. I did a lot of activism work in college, and I moved here during the summer of George Floyd. And so I wanted to be in a city where there were a lot of Black people and a lot of successful Black people, and had a good sense of community. And I started off in the nonprofit space and have stayed there. So yeah.
So you used my favorite word, community. And when I think of, again, community, I think of you all and how you have immersed yourself into this second home community of Birmingham, being so actively involved in civic organizations and volunteerism, making really good friends, sort of building your tribe and finding your village, having a little bit of fun. And so the question I want to ask you, in addition to what you just shared, is why are you here? What is it about this city, this place, these people that keeps you calling Birmingham home?
It's really hard to let go of Birmingham. The people, the food, the stuff to do. I mean, there is enough to keep me here forever and keep me here happily forever. I think one of the best things about Birmingham, especially as a young professional, has been the incredible opportunity that I've had to build my network in ways that I couldn't have ever imagined when I started my career, and it's something that I couldn't replicate anywhere else.
Yeah, I think, and I stand behind this, and I've said this statement multiple times publicly, so I'll say it again. There is no other city that you can move to as a young professional and immediately jump in and make an impact. You cannot do that in Atlanta. Cannot do that in Charlotte. Definitely can't do that in D.C. or New York or Boston or Nashville now. And so I think for me, I was able to jump right in. I was able to tell people, hey, I'm not from here. I want to meet people. I want to build community. And they got to work on my behalf to help me find a place here. And I don't think any other city is like that.
So let's talk about, so how did you do that? Like literally, how did you come to this foreign land? And I look at you all in admiration, and I'm going to say this throughout. This is my theme. Bear with me. Okay. Y'all know everybody. You do everything. You're involved in things that matter. You're making a difference. How did you do that? Literally, walk us through what that looks like.
So moving here, and I was working in nonprofit. I was working for a very large, well-known nonprofit organization here in town, and we had a very large volunteer base. And so I moved here during the pandemic, obviously, so we were not meeting anybody in person. And so I just started asking people for Zoom calls. Can you just give me 30 minutes of your time? You're already donating to the organization, so I just want to get to know you and just see what you're doing. And I have no idea what's going on here. And so I would talk to people, get to know them, try to build some familiarity. And at the end of the call, I would always ask, well, who do you think I should meet next? Like, who do you think I should get to know? And can you make an introduction? And so it just kind of snowballed and snowballed from there. And then once the world opened back up, and I would say about summer 2021, people were starting to go a little bit back outside. Then I started get to put faces with names and see people in person after I've seen them on a screen. And then I had people really make sure I had a great first Classic experience when Classic came back in 2021. So that's how I was able to meet people, and joining Rotaract. So it was really, I like to keep a network of like a web of relationships in my head. But for me, it was just like, okay, I'm young talent. I want to be here. I want to stay here. So give me a reason to stay here, right? Like, I think when we talk about talent recruitment and retention, especially in Birmingham, it's not, we have great food, we have a decent cost of living, we have things to do, but ultimately if you don't have people to enjoy those things with, you can't enjoy the city. So for me, it was about getting connected to people.
Which to me dispels the myth, and I know we're still very much a work in progress, but Aubrie, we hear this in our work all the time at Prosper about silos. But what you're saying, Leah, and what I've seen with both of you is that we're a little bit closer than sometimes we give ourselves credit or people may think. Aubrie, for you, and I've seen you navigate spaces. I've been in rooms where people have said, oh, do you know Aubrie? I'm like, yeah, I do, as if I should know you, and I should, and I'm glad I do. But what has it been like for you navigating the world of philanthropy and nonprofit and civic engagement as you're emerging out of college, representing this organization in a major way like you do with your role? What has that been like for you?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I owe a lot of it to my elders.
Oh, thank you for calling us old. As Leah looks away.
I mean that.
I appreciate that.
As a compliment.
We love you. We love you.
But like I said, Birmingham doesn't want to let you leave, and neither do the people here. I think it's Leah's personal mission to keep everyone under 30 who moves to Birmingham in Birmingham. And if it's not her mission, she does a really good job of it by accident. But I think more than anything, just making organic connections with people, not always about philanthropy or economic development or my work specifically, but connecting with them on a human level about what we love about Birmingham, what we're excited about in life. It means a lot when you take the time to get to know people, and it makes your experience that much more impactful. And I think that I've just been really fortunate to be in a lot of rooms with a lot of really wonderful people who were willing to connect with me on a person-to-person level, not a your title, my title level. And it's just been a really beautiful experience.
So have there been challenges? Have there been obstacles? Have there been days where you said, I need to get back to Dollywood, to Tennessee, where I belong, because this is not the place for me? Or if there have been, how have you navigated them? Who's helped you along the way? Because we want to think about, like, what would make someone want to call this place home? What would make recent college graduates want to come here and stay here? What would make someone want to relocate here? So we want to be honest and transparent that we all are works in progress, city included. So what have been the obstacles?
I think one of the biggest obstacles for me initially was getting out of my bubble. Samford is a wonderful institution, but it's located in Homewood. So I wasn't living in Birmingham when I was at Samford, and then I moved out of that bubble. And it was uncomfortable, of course, to start expanding my horizons and getting to know people. But that was really important and really influential in how I make friends now and how I live my life day to day. And I'm also really fortunate, I will say, that I graduated at an odd time. And so the workforce was not also flooded with other young graduates. And so I got all the attention. Just kidding.
It was so deserved.
But I was very fortunate in that way. But yeah, I mean, it's never not challenging to become an adult and come into your own and make friends. But I think that people in Birmingham are very aware of that and are very dedicated to helping you navigate that transition. I was never alone.
Yeah. Leah, what about you?
I think, I came to the realization, especially being a recent college graduate, moving here, was you have to decide what you want your life to look like. And so after the pandemic, a lot of those things changed for people because we didn't have pre-pandemic things. The economy is not the best right now. It is very expensive, especially for young professionals. So navigating that, but I think also like now being a young leader who is well known, figuring all that out publicly is somewhat of a challenge, and making sure that I take care of myself, but also like deliver professionally as well. So I had to decide what I wanted my life to look like, and I wanted to be with friends. I wanted to eat good food. I wanted to be dancing. And so whatever I needed to do to set that up for myself, that's what I did. But I think you have to intentionally choose, and you have to wake up every day with a choice of, this is what I want to do. This is the impact I want to make in the world. These are the people that I want to surround myself with. So I've had amazing mentors. I've shouted some of them out before, but just there are so many people in this city who I didn't realize were invested in me, and who absolutely who are, and show it for me in ways that I didn't think that they would, And so people who've taken the time to make introductions, people who've taken the time to, can I take you out for coffee, and like pour into me like life lessons that they've learned and advice. That's valuable.
Yeah, I'll never not evangelize the power of loose ties and those very surface level connections you make at an event, and then you see them again and you build your relationship. Those have been some of the most beneficial connections that I've made professionally and personally.
Good. So as I think about Prosper and our vision to build the most inclusive and thriving economy in the Southeast, and I look at both of you as young professionals that are truly a part of that in a major way, if you were creating the blueprint of young professional recruitment and retention for Birmingham, what would that be comprised of? Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to offer? What are we doing well? What would be your vision for how to get more and more? There will never be any other Aubrie and Leah, but others like you here to experience what you all have experienced.
I think we, especially, and she and I have talked about this a lot, of the privilege that we have to be in some of the spaces that we are. I think it does take a certain level of maturity and acumen to thrive in that. But there are a lot of young professionals, and we're meeting them in Rotaract or just out when we're out and about, on the weekends, that have not been given those chances. And I really think it comes back to employment. I've had phenomenal bosses who have sat down with me and invested in me. TC McElmore was one. Now I have Carly Sanford. But we actively talk about my career, and they actively advance me. We talk about all the nitty gritty things that you don't think about, and they give me space to grow. They give me space to fail. But they also give me space to like make an impact and think about things, not just in the context of our organization, but how does our organization fit in with what else is happening in Birmingham? And so I think it really comes to companies and managers, supervisors, CEOs. They've got to be invested in not just hiring great talent, but mentorship and cultivation and development of that talent. And give people an opportunity to fail, give people an opportunity to thrive. I'm on the board of Rotary Club of Birmingham, so I will always promote that. But I think it's a great organization for young professionals to meet people from all different industries, backgrounds. I would say we're like 60% Birmingham natives and now 40% transplant. So if you're not from here, you've got somewhere to go. But I think being around like-minded individuals, but it really comes down to an employment issue, and how are people at the top and people who are making those decisions, how are they investing in mentorship?
I love it. Aubrie, what's your blueprint?
That is such a hard question for me to answer. I think certainly the idea of meeting people where they are is important to take Leah's point a little bit further. I don't know how different my career would look if I didn't know in my heart and feel it through the words and actions of other people that a lot of the people I met early on in my career were truly invested in me and my success. And I did nothing to earn that.
You're pretty amazing, but that's...
Thank you. But I did nothing to inspire them to care about my career. They just do. And that's something that is true of a lot of CEOs and upper level management people in Birmingham, and I can't imagine that it's true of a lot of other cities. But like Leah said, it's a matter of privilege, and not everyone has access to those folks. But the thing that I love about Birmingham maybe the most is that people are outside.
You're kidding, right?
You will find people whether or not you know it. I could be at Automatic on a weeknight, and there are 10 people in the room that I've never met, but I know their names and I want to meet them. Or I could go to Pepper Place on a Saturday, and I could see a bunch of professional connections. And it's all about how you maximize that time. I'm not saying go interrupt anyone's dinner at Automatic. I certainly would be upset if you interrupted mine, but I definitely think that you have to, if you want to build a network and you know who you want to network with, you have to be vigilant about taking those opportunities as a young professional. And also, as seasoned professionals, I think that it is important that people look out for young professionals. And if they see you floundering in a social setting or out and about, and they say, hey, come with me, I have people that you need to meet, even if it's just their best friend. I think that that's definitely something that I would encourage more people to do, and I'm very lucky that people have done that for me.
And it will continue. So get ready. So, final question. What's next for you in your civic life, professional life, as you want to dig even more deeply in this city that we get to live, work, and play in? What's next? What do you want to do? Somebody might be out there wants to make it happen. So what do you see? What's your vision for you? I love how Leah is looking at you, Aubrie, as if to say, you go first.
Well, first and foremost, I would like my very fat orange cat, George, to once again win Birmingham's coolest cat. And I'm looking directly
We
in the
can
camera for
guarantee
this.
that.
I'm very serious. That's really what's keeping me in Birmingham more than anything
that's done.
else.
So you got to give us more.
He won once.
Yeah, he can win again.
He'll win again.
It can happen.
I think I am just so excited about the era of Birmingham that I have the privilege of living in.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with me, but all of these new restaurants opening, all of these people moving to Birmingham. I know that professionally we feel like there aren't that many people moving to Birmingham, but I feel like I meet new people every day.
Yeah.
The families that people are building, the communities that are coming up. I think that it's so incredible to be a part of this community. And if there's any one thing that I want for my future, it's to continue to build and cultivate places like Birmingham, but I don't have any intention of leaving anytime soon.
Good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think Birmingham stuck with me. I'm stuck with Birmingham, definitely a two-way street. I would say that some of the criticism that we get, but I also think it's a beautiful thing, is that it feels like a small town. And like you were only, people say you're only 2 degrees separated. I would say you're only 1 degree separated. And that does, and that goes across like racial lines, class lines, like geographic lines. Like you were only 1 degree separated.
We're connected
from someone. We are a very connected space. So sometimes that can be a thing, and then it could also be a positive thing as well, because sometimes I get frustrated and I'm like, I feel like I know everyone here. I feel like I keep seeing the same people. But then you realize that like, I've actually never sat down and had coffee with that person. I've actually never gotten a drink with that person. I've never built community with that person. I had coffee with a lady yesterday that like I've been seeing around for like 2 years, and I finally was like, can I just get coffee with you? And like now it's like, okay, like yeah, we're connected now. So I think there's still so much to explore. There's still so many people to meet and see. I'm excited for more young talent to move here. I think the tech industry, I think the healthcare industry, I think they're constantly like bringing in people that can make such a big positive impact for this city. And for me, I want to serve as a testament to how you don't have to be from here to make it, to be successful. Civically, my term ends with Rotaract soon. Still will be involved, but kind of excited with now this freed up time to be like, what's
more
what's
leadership
happening?
Opportunities.
More,
is that what you're saying?
I mean, I think Angela's going to nominate me
maybe,
on a board or something,
I've
because
been known to do that a time
that's what
or
she
two.
does. I'm always camera ready around her, and I'm always, even with this podcast, she was like, I'm going to send you something. Just say yes. I said, yes, ma'am. I immediately emailed back, yes. But no, I think like we are a holistic community.
Absolutely.
And it's not just work. It's not just personal life. It's not just, your religious activities. Like it's a very holistic place. So I'm excited to kind of expound that. And really just, I'm still in my 20s. Figure that out.
Yeah. I would just like to say to the people, to the young people, whatever you want to do, you can do it in Birmingham.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly. We are big advocates. Big advocates.
I have nothing else to say. You all have summed it up so perfectly. No, but truly, and I hope I share this enough, and if not, I'm going to say it for the whole wide world. I admire both of you, truly how you have just gotten in here and just made this your own, and then are very strategic and intentional about bringing others along for this wonderful ride that we get to do. So I'm excited about you all moving on to other opportunities, continuing to preach the gospel of get connected, stay connected, show up, eat the free food, put on the lashes.
Eat the free food. Eat the free food.
When you're in your 20s, free food matters. It has not
the
been that
free
long
food.
that I don't know that. But you do continue to show up, and that matters so much. It's inspiring for people like me. Hopefully it's inspiring for other young professionals or young people who will become professionals, who will look at you in admiration, and for you all continuing to sing the song of community. When I think of you, that's what I think of. And so I appreciate that. And I hope that you continue to feel the magic of the Magic City. And you're just wrapped in the arms of all the goodness that we have to offer. And you stay here forever and ever and ever. And you bring more people with you, because truly that is what makes a community rich. It's because of leaders like you. So thank you for being here for the podcast. Thank you for calling Birmingham home. Thank you for eating the free food. And thank you for telling all your friends how great this city is and allowing us to welcome you in as part of the family.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So
Thanks for
glad y'all
having
are
us.
here.
It's great.
Thank y'all.